Hello everyone, my name is Ivan Ang and welcome to my kitchen. And you might be thinking, why are we in Ivan's kitchen? Well, I'll tell you, the kitchen is one of my favorite places in the house and it's where I feel most comfortable, and there's something actually very special that I've actually just put into the oven, and I'll show you straight after my little presentation today. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is I want to share with you an upcoming webinar that I'm going to be hosting. It's going to be in conjunction with a gentleman by the name of Dr. David Livermore. And Dave is actually the world's leading expert in cultural intelligence. And when I found out about what he was doing in the space of cultural intelligence, it got me really excited. It really got me thinking about how could we actually get leaders becoming more culturally intelligent so that they can impact on more people. So I started having a discussion with Dave, and we hit it off immediately, and we started talking about what are some of the important things that leaders can really develop and benefit out of increasing their cultural intelligence. And so there are 3 key points or 3 key questions that I'm going to get Dave to answer as part of this particular webinar. And the first one is going to be, how can we win highly profitable clients? So how can we win highly profitable clients? Now, the thing is that if you're like me, you're always on the lookout for great clients, aren't we? So the thing is that we want to know, what do we need to do to win highly profitable clients? Now, here's the catch. The thing is that, have you looked at what your client base is like at this present moment? Now, I want you to start thinking about what your client base is going to look like over the next 5, 10, 15 years. Now, I want to share a fact with you. The fact is that the global middle class is going to go from 2 billion today to over 4.9 billion people in the next 15 years, by 2030. So in that global middle class, how can you tap into that wealth? And I can tell you now that statistics shows that there's going to be a shift. There's going to be a distinct shift from the growth in the middle class in the West, in America, in Europe, and even to a certain degree in Australia as well. And that's going to be shifting more towards Asia. Now, 40% of consumption of that global middle class is going to come from Asia. These are the stats that are being presented to us at this present moment, and I don't want you to miss out, because as a leader, you really need to capitalize on that wave, that extraordinary wave that's going to be potentially a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So, how do we win highly profitable clients? But not only that, how do we win highly profitable clients from a diverse cultural background? That's what we're really talking about. That's where cultural intelligence really comes into it. Okay, so the next one that we're going to cover off on is, how do we build your dream team for explosive growth? So here's the key word. How do we go for explosive growth? And I believe that the way to go for explosive growth is to build a dream team. Now, what do I mean by a dream team? The thing is that the dream team is really what Jim Collins talks about in terms of his book, Good to Great. It's those people that needs to be on your bus. It's those people who are vital to the future of your business. And equally, it's ensuring that that bus, your bus, doesn't have the wrong people on it either. Okay? Now, the dream team, can I encourage you to think about it this way? You need to think about who this dream team of leaders need to be in your organization that's going to lead your organization into the future. And yet again, this links back to what I was talking about before in terms of, what is your customer base going to look like in the next 15 years? Now, if your customer base is going to shift from where it is today to being more culturally diverse, can I suggest to you that one of the things that you need to think about is a dream team, an inner circle of leaders within your organization that comprises of people who understand cultural intelligence. not only are they increasing their cultural intelligence, but they themselves may be even from these cultures, from these different diverse cultures that you are going to be marketing and selling to. Now, isn't that going to be important to you? I believe so. I believe that the two aspects of increasing people's cultural intelligence and as well as taking advantage of those from culturally diverse backgrounds and bring them all together and being able to strategize on a regular basis is going to make a huge difference to you. So Dave is going to cover off on how do you actually make sure that you get the best out of these particularly culturally diverse team members, and as well as to make sure that you understand how to actually connect better with them. Now, the other important point that I want to raise with regards to that particular issue is that one of the things that one of the problems that I'm regularly coming up against now are businesses that say that they don't understand how to actually retain these highly qualified, highly talented individuals from diverse backgrounds, diverse cultural backgrounds. Now, that's a very important thing for you to consider, because the turnover rate of staff, or even more importantly, the replacement cost of these talents, of these people who end up leaving your organizations, could be up to 200% of their particular salary. So the thing is that you've got to realize that if you don't know how to actually not just attract but also retain these highly qualified, highly talented individuals from diverse cultural backgrounds, and they're leaving within about 5 years of joining your organization, that's going to be a huge cost to your business, and you can't afford to actually lose these guys, because guess what? It's going to impact on your bottom line, isn't it? So when we're talking about highly profitable businesses, we want to make sure that we're building the right dream team, and that's what we're going to touch on as well. So the last aspect of what we're going to talk about is how to grow a global business. When I was a young kid, I could remember that my friend and I wanted to build a grandiose, huge merchant bank when we grew up, and when we didn't even know what a merchant bank was, to be honest, but just sounded like a great idea. So Orlando, my friend, and I had this wonderful idea of coming together and growing building a global business. We would have offices in Singapore and obviously Sydney, where we live, Singapore, New York, London, and now that hasn't actually transpired yet, but who knows? The thing is that I'd love to be able to work in many different countries and many different cities, and be able to build a network of wonderful, like-minded individuals who are just as passionate about this particular topic as I am. So, if you're struggling with just the amount of business coming through your doors at this present moment, is there anything else that you could potentially do to take your business global? Is there anything that you could potentially do to be able to build a footprint that includes operating in other countries? Now, there's two aspects of that. That I want you to consider. Firstly, it could well be that the global, the client base that you're looking for and you would like to be able to tap into is a global client base. They might be overseas. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, the second point that I want you to think about is that I'm seeing more and more businesses now that are starting to outsource overseas to, it could be to India with IT, great IT operations over in India. They're highly talented, very, very clever individuals who knows how to work with technology. So a lot of IT operations is going to India now. Now, I know of call centers being started up in the likes of Philippines as well. And no need to say, needless to say, the aspect of being able to build a global organization may include having to shift your operations or part of your operations offshore. Now, if you're actually setting up offshore operations, the thing that you need to realize is that you can't just let them be. You can't just let them go and do their own things without coming in and making sure that they understand what is expected of them. The point that I'm trying to make is that if you need to lead them, if you need to show leadership to people who are from a different culture, a different country, and a different way of doing things, how well versed are you to be able to lead these people, these managers, and these individuals who may be based overseas? It doesn't just happen naturally, right? You need to know the framework, or you need to work to a framework in order for you to understand how to get the best out of them, so that they then become individuals and teams that are going to be great contributors to your business and your operations globally. Okay, so global client base or global teams being based overseas is what we're talking about when we're talking about growing a global business. So that's what I wanted Dave to talk about as well in our webinar. So just recapping, firstly, how do you actually win highly profitable clients? Second one is, how do you build a dream team for explosive growth? And the third aspect is, how do you grow a global business if that's what you would like to do? And I believe that you're going to get so much out of this particular webinar. You're gonna be blown away by the information that Dave is going to be presenting. I'm gonna be interviewing him and asking him lots of questions as well with regards to the topic that we're going to be talking about. And I think it's going to be, I know it's going to be a very valuable time. It's going to be one of those sessions that you don't want to miss. As I said at the very beginning of this particular video, I'm going to show you what I've got baking away in my oven. So if you bear with me, just come with me. I'm just going to grab it. All right, the video is going to be a little bit shaky, but here we go. These are my jam tarts. These are pineapple jam tarts. Very, very common around Chinese New Year time in Asia, and I'm sure that if you are in Asia at Chinese New Year, you're going to see them in shops and as well as in people's homes when they invite you to come and join them for Chinese New Year. So anyway, that's just your little bit of cultural intelligence that I'm adding to you today, and hopefully you will come over and help me sample some of these pineapple jam tarts at some stage. If these things are important to you, can I please encourage you, register now, register for our webinar. If you know of anyone who would be interested in this particular topic, please send them the link to this particular video so that we would be able to connect with them. And I'd love to see you on the webinar itself. Look forward to serving you, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.